I just started recording the video, and it went boom, not enough storage on the SD card, so I have 5 gigs available on the phone. So this is the VM Shaker Encore 2500 watt monoblock amplifier. And trying to get you an image. There it is. So as you can see, it's supposed to be the Encore. If it'll actually clear up for you guys. ECD 2500.1 or Echo Charlie Delta 2500.1. Now this amplifier actually hits pretty damn hard. I guess you could call it an entry-level amplifier, but I wouldn't really call it that because it actually is fairly powerful considering. Its design looks pretty simple. It does use the discrete driver board for Class D and discrete driver for the power supply side of things. Now, I'm okay with those, but you get a little extra noise, interferences, and things like that. But the overall design is very strong. I mean, I was very shocked. So, originally it was designed to only use one set of 4-gauge terminals. So, that actually kind of disappointed me at first. But it used fuses here instead of the secondary 4-gauge, and that's what I do here. I modify amps, build them, rebuild them, all kinds of stuff. Anyways, it hit really, really freaking hard. I mean, it's really good. It's 1 ohm stable, 2500 watts maximum, I believe. And now that I've done all this, it's probably closer to 32 to 3500 watts maximum because of all the power modifications I have done. The only thing I don't really like is the inductor on the output stage. It's really, really cheap looking. However, it is a common inductor, so just like any other Class D driver or any other amplifier, your complementary sides are a half bridge, so you have your positive, and your negative, and then your output, so it ties to the same inductor. The filtering is actually a little bit better than what I thought, because in the power-based ASA 1500 watt amplifier, it used only one of these capacitors, those little gray caps. I mean, it's not really the best filtering, but it's pretty damn good for the price. I got it for 35 bucks on eBay. It was burned out. Some of the output FETs were burned, so I replaced those. And this is my amplifier. This is why I did all this. And I will do this to a customer's amplifier if they ask. So, a quick rundown of what was done to this amplifier. Originally, stock, it's these terminals. These terminals are very small. They're 4-gauge. They're actually a little bit bigger than regular 4-gauge wiring terminals, so that is actually okay. It was fused at 120 amps using 4 30 amp ATC fuses, the little green little fuse jobs, you know, those little guys. Here, I'll just show you. Whatever the hell these are called. So, yeah. 4 of those. So fused at 120 amps. So they have it fused very well. I mean, 120 amps for a Class D amp that's 2500 watts max. Not bad. So I do like how they fused it, and it's not fused to like 60. I hate that. So, first of all, I took that fuse panel out because those fuses, the metal, I mean, I know they pass the current, but it's just like, really. So I took it out, and from the original power input terminal to positive, as you can see, 13.8 VDC, that's what it says on the PCB, I took a 4-gauge wire, as you can see here, and jumped it straight to the transformer. Now, the next thing I did was, since I removed that fuse panel, normally, if it's just the light modification, I jump a wire from your power terminal straight to your transformer. I will discern what size the wire needs to be by looking at the transformer here, because it's a center type. Ooh, that's charged. Careful. You have your 2 coils here. We go to your corresponding half-bridge side. But you want to look at how big each one of those coils really are. So this is a cheap micrometer, whatever the heck it's called. So it's about 4 millimeters. So since the frequency is so high, your current, looking at it current-wise, is basically all of this is running at the same time, because it's running at 32 kilohertz, I believe. But actually, in reality, only one side is on. Otherwise, it'd be a dead short. So I say, okay, so you have 8 millimeters of wire in total. So I will say, okay, so you need this wire. Now, the next step up from that is I will install different terminals. So, in this case, I actually installed more terminals, as you can see here. This is another set of 4-gauge, came off of an Alpine MRV 500 watt RMS amplifier. It's a monoblock. And this is the amplifier I'm talking about. Again, it is actually built pretty damn well. It only uses two FETs per side of the transformer. The power supply of this thing works fine, but the output stage is fucked. So I use it as a power supply, but not anymore because I just pulled the terminals off of it. So I actually added those terminals in here. So just like that sound cube amp, this amplifier now has dual positive, dual negative, and dual operational remote terminals. Unlike the sound cube amps and other ones, you'll have 2 terminals, but only 1 remote. So this actually uses 2 remotes now. It has operational dual remotes. So like when this thing actually has true daisy chaining. So now you can send a remote signal out without having to tie into here. So I also took a 4-gauge wire directly from its positive terminal directly to the transformer as well. Because now it doesn't matter, like if I built this for someone, they would probably forget, okay, which one should I use? Well, now you don't have to remember, because it doesn't matter. Now, for the ground, which was the most difficult part, as you can clearly see, I took another one of those same 4-gauge wires so you don't have load imbalancement, and jumped to the original ground. And then I took wiring and jumped to every single one of the MOSFETs. Now, if you're actually doing this for an amplifier, I do not recommend doing what I did. It's called SMT. I only did it because this is kind of a test to make sure it's actually going to work properly. So by that I mean, see, I didn't drill holes in the PCB, and it's also because there's a dual layer PCB, so that makes things more difficult. But some amplifiers actually do use this topology. Some of them do not drill through and put the wiring through. They just put the wiring right on the transistor or right beside it. So I guess it is how some amps do it, but I just don't recommend it for stability purposes. So basically I added another set of terminals, and I massively upgraded the power coming into the transformer. I upgraded the grounds. Now I didn't take any old connections out. Like the ground connections that are originally here are still there. They're still underneath, or actually on top. Same here. I didn't disconnect the original power coming to the transformer from the terminals. No, I left that there. So all I do with amplifiers is I add. That way you get more power. So the next step is to do basically the same thing, but with the output stage. So like these cheaper bus bars, I mean, you can actually bend them. I will be replacing those, not replacing, probably adding this directly to the inductor here. So it's a very well-built amplifier. I wouldn't really classify it as an entry level. I mean, it's not a boss amp by far. It definitely is not a boss amp. I would put this... I haven't actually gotten a dyno it yet. I haven't seen a dyno of it yet. I don't have a dyno yet, so I'm waiting to buy one of those. But I would put this probably around with at least Rockford Fosgate, Quality, maybe some of your lower-end Scar Audios. I mean, I wouldn't say lower-end, but I was very surprised to see the toroidal transformer used. It's very large. I'm very happy to see that. Now, this is another really, really spectacular thing. I modified a Boss amplifier of my own, and it now is a 4,000 watt amp, and it all started out as a 300 some watt amp. It's supposed to be 2,000, please. Check this shit out. Both of those are the positive rectifiers. Both of these are the negatives. It has 2 positives and 2 negatives. That's what I did with my amp. But that is how this thing was built originally. I mean, this is a very well-built amp. It's phenomenal how they did that. I'm very happy. So, I hope this little review, I mean, it wasn't really a review. It was more of just a, hey, this is what I did to this amplifier. I do not have any images, sorry. I don't have any images of what it was like before. But you can go online, look up the VM Shaker Encore 2500.1 Class D amplifier. Or you can look up the VM Shaker. Wait a minute. This is supposed to be the VM Shaker. That's what it says on the front panel. The VM Shaker. I forgot. Sorry, but its chassis is just a slightly different than the Encore version. And I believe it's the exact same amplifier. It's just a different chassis. I like this chassis a little bit better, actually. It's built a little bit nicer, I believe. It's a little more rugged. And this is the chassis that you get. See? Encore Shaker. Or it's the monoblock shaker amplifier. You do get a... it's not huge. But... you do have channels for the airflow, for cooling. It is not a very light amplifier. It's not heavy, but it is not light. So it already feels like a pretty good amp. But the thing that I did that was what was really, really good for this amplifier is I put in the secondary terminals. And I bypassed some fuses. I fucking hate that. Any good amplifier never has fuses. I mean, that Sound Cubit doesn't have fuses. My amps, any amplifier I build does not come with fuses. It never comes with fuses. So you will get, if I build you one, or if I modify an amp like this, you will get a piece of paper with it that says, warning, no internal fuses, all external required. Of course, with any amplifier, external is required. But just like any other amplifier that has female, I recommend you do use wire reducers. Number one, it just makes it look cleaner, but it also allows you to use bigger wiring to go to it, because in this manner, I would rather have an amplifier like this than just have one where it has 2-gauge inputs. And I say that because your cross-sectional area of the actual terminals itself, you have more metal inside there, you have more current able to transfer, and it balances it out better. See, because like this, you have both terminals sending hot to the transformer, while in just a single bigger one, let's say this is a bigger one, you only have that one wire, and that's it. So, here you get 2. But this is just a quick thing of what I did with this amplifier. So, like, comment, subscribe. Volkman Audio Repair is my business name. You can hit me up on Facebook, Anthony Volkman. If you want the amps rebuilt, or if you just want some information about your amplifier, I could probably try and find you some information pretty quickly or easily. But yeah, thanks. Enjoy. And definitely try and get one of these. These things are actually really, really good. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to get this, obviously. It doesn't have this. You only get the 1 4-gauge terminals and the fuses. But if you're just wanting a good amplifier for very good power, for its size and the price, I definitely recommend this. I mean, VM Shaker, if you guys are watching this, very good. I'm very happy. And I work with very, very high-powered stuff, like that Sound Cubit 4500 watt RMS amplifier. So for me to say that, pretty good. I mean, it's got dual... it has double rectifiers for the positive and double for the negative. I mean, I'm sorry, they did excellent on this amplifier. So thank you very much, VM. Peace out. Enjoy the day. Yeah. See you later.